Yep. Good morning, everyone. So yesterday we discussed about what is TypeScript and what are the features of TypeScript. So we learned about TypeScript features and the TypeScript architecture. So in the TypeScript architecture, yesterday we learned few very important concepts. So the TypeScript architecture comprises of two compilers. What is core compiler? Core compiler translates the code and identifies the errors in your code. Once translated successfully, it need to be transcompiled into JavaScript. Who will do that? Standalone compiler. And whatever library is required for TypeScript, that is provided by language service. Loading the TypeScript programs, compiling, processing, executing, everything is done on TypeScript server. And translating the code into understandable code of all platforms is done by shims. And the service which is understandable to every operating system is called as managed language service, right? This is the basic architecture of TypeScript we discussed. So what are the differences between JavaScript and TypeScript and how TypeScript works we learned. Now we will see practically how to set up, install and use TypeScript in our project. First, we are going to learn complete TypeScript individually. After learning TypeScript individually, we will use this knowledge in our Angular. So Angular uses TypeScript. Without knowing any TypeScript, you cannot work on Angular. So first individually, we have to learn the TypeScript language. Then we need to go into the concept of Angular. So for that, how to set up the environment, how we can start working with TypeScript, we will see. This you need to do practically. So what we are going to learn first today is how do we set up environment for TypeScript. How do we set up environment for TypeScript, right? That means if you want to start practicing TypeScript on your computer, so on your device, what are the basic things you need to do? First step, what we have to do is, the first thing you have to do is to download and install Node.js on your PC. First thing you need to do is to download and install Node.js on your PC. How? I will show you the process here. Why we need Node.js? Because actually we are installing Node.js on PC for a package manager, called npm. We are installing Node.js on our PC for a package manager called npm. Actually, what is a package manager and why you need a package manager in your computer? For example, you are building some project in various technologies, Java, .NET, PHP, web development. You are building project. In a project, you need lot of libraries. So in a project, suppose you are developing a project. In that project, you want a library like jQuery. You want a library like React. You want a library of Angular. Then generally how developers get library. If you want any library to use in your project, then generally how developers do that is every library have a official website. We visit that official website of library. In that official website, they will give a download option. We will download the library. And when you download, usually library will be huge files. They will compress in a zip format and give to us. We uncompress them. We copy those files and go to our project and paste these files there. This is lengthy process. That means visiting their official website, downloading library from them and copying those files and again injecting them into our project. It's a lengthy process. So generally what software developers do, instead of doing all this, they will use a software tool called package manager. If they install package manager in their computer, through that package manager, they can download and install any library just by using one command. That means from their project, they can run one command. That command will download everything and install for their project. So manually, you don't need to follow. You have to just run one command. It will take care of everything. That is what actually package manager is. So package manager is a software used by developers belonging to various technologies to download and install libraries that they need for their project. Actually, package managers, so many are there. So package manager is a tool.
Recording in
Every
progress.
company will use same NPM. So you learned here NPM. In your company, they may be using Yarn. Then only syntax will change a little bit. And that syntax you can easily get from their official website. What is the syntax? Because every library, they have a certain syntax. For example, I will show you why we need this. Let's see. Suppose I will give a simple concept. I hope you know HTML. You all are aware of HTML. To make HTML better, we use CSS. And if we want more CSS templates without manually designing, then what we do? We use Bootstrap. There is a library called Bootstrap. We build applications. We use that Bootstrap library to make the applications very effective. So how to get Bootstrap? For example, see, I will open the Bootstrap official website like getbootstrap.com. This is official website of Bootstrap. After visiting the official website, from here we have to select download. I am selecting here download. When I am selecting download, they will give you download options. In the download options, here you can see they have given a package manager's choice. They given a package manager's choice. That means they say that you can download directly, or if you have any package manager, you can use those package manager. And see the package managers: NPM, Yarn, Ruby Gems, Composer, NuGet. These are all different package managers. You select any package manager that you have in your computer. In that package manager, how to install, they will give you the syntax. By copying that syntax, we can install that library. So any real-time development in their developers, in their PCs, they have a package manager. It is mandatory to have, because we don't prefer manual. Because when you download any library manually, several dependencies you may miss. Dependencies means one library needs another library as dependent. And you downloaded the library and you missed its dependent, then your library is not complete and your functionality will not be complete. So we never take risk of manually copying. We always use package managers. So every software developer's computer must have a package manager. There are so many package managers. You can use any package manager. Every day we have to work with this package manager in our Angular. So what we are going to do is, we are going to install Node.js. If you install Node.js in your computer, it will give a package manager called NPM. So you can use this package manager for entire Angular, React, anywhere. So even for later React or any other technology also, this is enough. This is enough. So we will prefer using this package manager. How to get it? I will show you first. Let's go to the official website of Node.js. This is Node.js official website. You have to visit this website, nodejs.org. This is the official website, nodejs.org. Now, from this website, you have to download Node.js and install. So I will show you the process here. Node.js is cross-platform. It can work on any operating system you are using. Any platform, it may be a Mac, or it may be Linux, or it may be Windows. Everywhere it will work. So what do you need to do here? Visit this website. In this, two downloads are there. Actually, this website will automatically recognize which operating system you are currently using. According to that, it will suggest you download. If it is unable to recognize your operating system, no problem. there is a other downloads category. You can click on other downloads and you will get all the OS related options. You can download which one you are looking for. But no need. Actually, in the first screen itself, it will identify which operating system you are currently using. Based on that, it will give you suggestions. What you have to just do is, here, two versions are there. One version 19, another version 18. You have to download this 18 version, not 19. Because 19 is having some latest features, but they are not completely stable. Completely stable means, so they are not completely finished. They are still working on them. So these are required for people who are already having Node.js and they want to see what is new. So currently you have to download this 18 version, right? So generally, so here there will be several versions. As of now, which version you will choose? 18.12. So download this version. So this is LTS. LTS is long-term support. You have to download this version. You have to download that version. So here, once you download, you see now, I will click on this download of this 18.12 and this download will give me a simple setup file here. So you can see a setup file will come. And once the download is finished, you need to just start the setup and follow the instructions. It is downloaded. After that, I will open that file. It will guide some steps. So it is showing a step-by-step process. This is steps. Nothing to change here. You just follow the steps next. Right? I will select next. It is saying that already you have Node.js installed, because already I am having Node.js installed. Otherwise, in the next step, you have to just click next and finish. Only two steps you need to follow. I am already having Node.js installed, so I will not disturb this. What you have to do, just follow two steps, next and finish. You don't need to choose any path or anything. Okay. So this is done. Node.js is successfully installed. Finish. Once Node.js is successfully installed, you have to check, is it properly installed or not? How do you check after download and install? So what you need to do is, second point, check the version of Node.js and NPM on your PC. You have to check the version of Node.js and NPM on your PC. That you have to do from command prompt. Open command prompt. You know command prompt, right? In command prompt, you have to just type node-v and you have to type npm-v. So that is node version and npm version. You have to check these two versions. After you finished installing Node.js on your computer, you open your command prompt and there you type these two commands. While typing, you need to be careful about the spaces. So you need to be careful about the capitalization spellings, right? Because that is what you regularly face in beginning. Because you are a fresher, beginner level, what problems you will face is majority about capitalization, spaces. These are the issues you will face, right? So first what you do, open command prompt. This is the command prompt. In this command prompt, you have to type node space -v. It will get the Node.js version. You can see this is Node.js version. I have the latest 18.12, whatever it is given there, right? And you have to check another version, npm-v. This npm version will be 8. It will give 8.19. So we need this npm as a package manager. Now, why I showed you to check version is nothing but it will give a clarity whether it is properly working or not. In your computer, if it is showing a message like not recognized command, that means Node.js is not properly installed. Because your installations will fail sometimes due to antivirus blocking the installation. So in your computers, if any antivirus is running, you have to disable that antivirus. Otherwise, some issues will come while installing. If you are the admin of your computer, no problem. But sometimes people use different users on their PC. Admin user will be different, other users are different. So while installing packages, libraries from online, especially for projects, you may be working Java, .NET, PHP, any project. These libraries cannot install if any antivirus is blocking. So if while installing it is showing any failure, saying that unable to install, make sure that you have disabled the antivirus that is running on your PC. Check what is the antivirus you are having, disable that antivirus temporarily, then install, then it will work. After that you can enable, right? First you need to disable that. So, and one more point is why I showed you the version, because many people who are already working in companies, if they are attending these sessions, they already have Node.js in their laptops. They already have package managers in their laptops or computers, because already any developer is working in a company means usually they will have packages already installed. They will have all our tools already installed. So why I am showing this version? Because if already Node.js is there, please check which version of Node.js is there. You have to make sure that you are using Node.js 16 and higher version. 16 and higher version. If anybody is already having Node.js from several days in their computer and they are having a version like 14 or 12, because several companies, people, computers still have 14 and 12. Majorities, because in software companies, developers who are working currently, they are working on old versions. So still they may have old version Node.js. Latest Angular and TypeScript will not work on old version of Node.js. Currently, which version of Angular we are going to learn? 15. And this version will not work on old version of Node.js. So what you have to make sure? You have to make sure that here I will give a simple note. So make sure that your node version is above 14, and npm version is above 6. This is compulsory. If anybody attending this session who is already a developer and working in companies and he is working on old version of Node.js, they need to update to this new version. Nothing special. Sometimes you may ask like how to update from old version to new version. No need to do anything, just install the latest, old one will be replaced. It is already given a message when I installed. Do you want to change? So you simply say change, automatically the old version is replaced with the new. You install the new version, old version will be replaced. There is no issue at all, right? So first important, you have to do this. Is it clear to everyone? Right? In your computers, you have to first install Node.js. Why we are installing Node.js? For a software called package manager. What is the role of package manager? Package manager role is to download and install the libraries that are required for developing a project. Without package manager, can we download the libraries? Yes, but it is manual approach, lengthy. So better use package managers. How to use these package managers, you will see, you will understand how do we use them. But this is first thing you have to do. Okay. Next, after downloading and installing package manager, next you have to download and install Visual Studio Code Editor. You have to download and install Visual Studio Code Editor. I hope as a software developer, you know what is an editor. Yes, what it is? What is an editor? What is the purpose of an editor? Actually, editor, point about editor is, suppose if anyone asks, can I write a Java program or a .NET program or a C program in Notepad? Can I write Java, .NET, C programs in Notepad? Yes, we can write. Can we compile them in Notepad? No. To compile them, we need a separate tool. Right? That means in one tool, you are writing the program. In another tool, you are compiling. In another location, you are seeing the output. Instead of using different tools, you can use only one tool which can do all the things. That is called editor. So editor provides an IDE, integrated development environment. So editor provides single environment from where you can build, you can debug, you can test, you can deploy applications. So a developer needs an editor so that he can build the application, he can compile and run the application, he can test the application, and he can even deploy that application. Deploying means making it ready to use. So there are so many editors actually. So you see, these are all editors. This is editor's official website. You see, these are all editors. These are all editors. Different editors will be there. There are so many editors. These are all editors. So many editors will be there. These are all editors. You can use any type of editor depending on your technology. So these are all editors, and we are using this editor, Visual Studio Code. So you can use any editor. And why we are preferring this editor? Because TypeScript is a language built by whom? Built by Microsoft. This editor also belongs to Microsoft. Then they will provide a better help, better guidance, and better support than anybody else in the world. Right? If you are using an editor that belongs to the people who built the language you are going to learn, that is best. Instead of, you can use any editor. Different editors are there. You can use editor, but we prefer Angular, React, and all these technologies to use Visual Studio Code. Why? Because Visual Studio Code is free. It provides all extensions required for any technology. That means later if you want to run your Java, .NET, PHP, Python programs, they also can run here. They also can run here. And TypeScript is from Microsoft. So then these people have a better support for TypeScript. So that is the reason we will go with this editor, Visual Studio Code. Angular best editor is Visual Studio Code. Angular, React, and all these modern development related tools require this one. So you can use any editor, but we will prefer this Visual Studio Code editor. So what is actually editor is nothing but editor provides an IDE. IDE is integrated development environment. Development environment. It provides an IDE. So you can build, you can debug, you can test and deploy applications. You can deploy applications from this editor. And there are so many editors. So which editor we are using? There are so many editors. Like we have Visual Studio Code, we have like Sublime, we have like WebStorm, so many. We have like Notepad++, you have Eclipse, all these are PyCharm, and all these are different editors. So we are going to use the editor Visual Studio Code. You have to download and install this Visual Studio Code. So what you need to do is visit the website of Visual Studio Code and download it. Don't get confused, because actually there is another editor called Visual Studio. You should not install Visual Studio, you should install Visual Studio Code. So this is little confusion for a beginners sometimes, because we have Visual Studio editor, Visual Studio Code editor. You don't need Visual Studio editor, you need Visual Studio Code. This is lightweight and this is enough for your projects. So actually, so this is the official website. You can just Google. I will give you Visual Studio Code official website here. This is the Visual Studio Code official website. You can download Visual Studio Code from here. If you want all editors related information, you can visit this website. There is a website called editor config. I will give you, yeah. So you can visit this website to get the list of all editors. So you have a website, editorconfig.org. If you visit this website, you will get all information about all editors, and you will get information about rules about every editor. Every editor related rules will be there. You will understand all those rules also, right? So this is the editor you have to download for working with TypeScript and later Angular. Our entire Angular and TypeScript, we are going to work on this editor. So download this editor. You see, this is Visual Studio Code. This is Visual Studio Code. And you can download for any operating system and you can install. It is also a simple setup file. Just 2 steps, 3 steps, it will give you, just like how you install other softwares, this also. Once Visual Studio Code is installed in your programs, you will find Visual Studio Code like this. This is Visual Studio Code editor, and it looks like this. I will close this folder so that you can see. The Visual Studio Code editor looks like this. This is the Visual Studio Code editor. This is the editor that we are going to use for building TypeScript and Angular projects. So this editor is enough. You have to download this. Okay. Once you downloaded the editor, that means now you are ready with two tools, one package manager, another one is editor. Now you need to do one more work. Actually, you have to download and install following extensions for editor. You have to download and install some extensions for editor. Actually, which editor we are using? Visual Studio Code. For which technology we can use? For any technology we can use. Even Java, Python, .NET, C++, C programs also can execute here. But Visual Studio Code, when you install, it doesn't know which technology you belong to. Am I right? That means Visual Studio Code will install only basic environment. When you install Visual Studio Code, you will get basic environment. If you belong to Java, then you have to install Java extensions. If you belong to Python, you have to install Python extensions, .NET extensions. Then Visual Studio will work for your technology. By default, Visual Studio works for simple HTML, CSS, JavaScript. If you want to use Visual Studio for your type of advanced technologies, you need some extra extensions to plug in. You need some extra extensions to plug in, then it will work. So that means what you have to do is, currently we have to work with TypeScript and Angular. For TypeScript and Angular, what extensions you need minimum, I will tell you. Those extensions you have to install. So what you have to do is, open Visual Studio Code after you install. And in this Visual Studio Code, you will find the last button, this one. This is actually extensions button. In the toolbar, you will see extensions button. You click on that extensions button. It will show some extensions here. Some extensions list will come. You have to search for extension and download. You have to search and download some extensions. And what are the extensions you need for working with TypeScript and Angular? Initially, we will not worry about Angular. We will just install what is needed for TypeScript. Later, we will add for Angular. First, you have to install an extension called Live Server. You have to install an extension called Live Server. Why we need a live server? That is very common, because you know that you generally learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript and all. Generally, HTML, CSS, JavaScript at school, college level, even 5th class student also knows HTML. Because in CBSE syllabus, 5th grade have HTML. In their 10th grade, they have Java, right? That means even a school grade student also knows HTML. Then in school, college level, how you learn and use HTML, you forget at that level only. Don't bring that knowledge here. Because at school, college level, when you learned HTML, what you have learned, you create a HTML file, put it in a folder, double click and open that and see how it is working. That type of environment will not work in real time. In real time environment, every software have to be deployed on server, and we have to run from server. Whatever the softwares you are building, because you are learning web development. So that means all applications are what kind of applications? Web. So you are developing web applications means finally the web applications are kept on server. That means you need to set up the same environment in your computer also. That means to run your applications, to test your applications and see how they are working, you need a server. Without server also you can run, but that is not right to do because it will fail when it goes live. That means while learning you may learn, but once it pushed to live environment, that application will fail. That is the reason how in real time the environment is present. The same environment we need to set up in our computer. We need to test in the same way. We need to publish in the same way. So every web application must be tested only on server. Understood? That is the reason in your computer you need a server to run and work with Angular or React or any kind of application. I hope you people use Java, .NET, PHP, means you use servers like Tomcat, right? What is it? It is a server. Without that server, it will not work, right? Applications must be hosted on a server. You need one server. You need to install and set up a server. So you can go here and you download here in the search box, search for live server. You will get a live server extension here. You can see this is live server. And what you have to do, you have to just install this live server on your Visual Studio. Already it is installed here. So otherwise you will get just install button. You just click, it will be added into your Visual Studio. So why we need live server? The concept is simple. Live server, it is required. It is required to run web applications. Our web applications run on this live server. So you have to make sure that you installed a live server. So live server will do a lot of other things which you will gradually learn later stages. Okay. Make sure that you are installing a live server and keeping it ready on your Visual Studio. Now another extension I will recommend you try this also. You download VS Code icons. Another one, icons. You search for another extension called VS Code icons and you install it. VS Code icons is nothing but, it is not mandatory. Live server is mandatory. VS Code icons is not mandatory, but it is good because as a developer in a project, you have to work with a lot of files, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript. All files look similar. All files look similar in UI, but only extension will be changing. .ts, .js, .cs, like that. So it is difficult for a developer to immediately recognize a file type. Until or unless he detailedly examines this extension, he don't know. That's the reason if you install this one, for HTML files, it will put HTML icon. For CSS files, it will put CSS icon. Java files, Java icon. So it is easy for developer. So that in their project, what files are Java files, what files are TypeScript files, he can easily identify. For that, you can better have this one. It is used for, so it is required for user-friendly icons. It is required for user-friendly icons. But it is not mandatory, but it is good. So you keep this VS Code icons. So you do this also. Go to your Visual Studio Code. In extensions, you search for VS Code icons. VS Code icons. You can see there is another extension called VS Code icons. You have to download and install this one also. Just you select install, it will work. Okay. Right. Next, another extension also I will recommend, IntelliSense for CSS class names in HTML. You have to download this one also. IntelliSense for CSS class names in HTML. This is very good and important also, because in our Angular or in our web development, we have to work with a lot of CSS. We have to work with a lot of HTML. In that case, what this will do is, it will provide you good help on HTML and CSS. When you are writing HTML, when you are writing CSS, automatically it will pop up and show some help to you. You are trying to type some effects, automatically it will give you suggestions saying that try these. So otherwise you have to remember everything. Remembering and typing every concept is little difficult. So if you get help, then you can easily choose which one you want and easily handle that. So in the beginner level, it is always good to have a good help for you. Whenever you are trying to type something, it will show suggestions. And for that, you have to download this extension, IntelliSense for CSS class names in HTML. It will help you more in HTML and CSS. In your Angular, you have to build a lot of HTML and CSS. In that case, this is very important. So you search another extension, IntelliSense for CSS class names. This is IntelliSense for CSS class names. This is another extension you can install. IntelliSense for CSS class names in HTML, you can download and install this one also. Now, once you done all this, now it is ready. So what you have to do, three basic things you have to do. First, download a package manager. After that, download the editor. After that, make the editor ready to work for your environment. How you will make the editor ready to work for our environment? By installing some plugins, extensions. What are the three extensions we need? Live server, VS Code icons, and IntelliSense. So these three are enough. Now you have to download and install TypeScript. This is what you need. Download and install TypeScript on your PC. Because HTML, CSS, JavaScript, no need to download and install, because every device in the world have the ability to run HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Every device. If a device is having a software called browser means Internet Explorer, Chrome, Firefox, Safari. If any device is having a browser, that means it is ready for HTML, CSS, JavaScript. You don't need to install anything for HTML, CSS, JavaScript. In your mobile, you have a browser. Your mobile also can write HTML, CSS, JavaScript. In your mobile also, you can try HTML, CSS programs and run them. Right? That means you can open any text editor tool, type a HTML code, save the file as .html, open in browser, it will work. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you don't need to install anything. A browser is enough. But TypeScript is not ready. TypeScript will not work on every computer. You have to separately install TypeScript on your computer. How to install TypeScript? Let's see. For that, what you have to do is open your command prompt. You have to open the command prompt, and there you have to run the command npm. Who is npm? Node Package Manager. So Node Package Manager install, npm install. So globally -g, that is globally TypeScript. This is the command you have to run. Be careful about capitalization, spaces, spellings, everything. Right? You have to run this command on your computer. Open any location on your computer, C drive, D drive, anywhere, command prompt. You have to run the command npm install g TypeScript. And very important, this command will not run if node package manager is not installed. Remember, this is not just installing. Package manager is not just installing. It is required for repairing your library. It is required for uninstalling any library, updating any library. So package manager is not just for installing. You can install, you can uninstall, you can update, you can repair any library on your project by using this npm. So what you have to do now, open your Windows command prompt. In the command prompt, you have to just run here npm install globally, that is the G flag, globally TypeScript. You have to run this command. So this will download and install TypeScript from their official website and put it in your computer. Globally is very important. So sometimes people miss that -G because you people usually follow sometimes YouTube and some other websites, right? So either follow YouTube or follow me, any two. Understood? Huh? If you are following YouTube, follow YouTube only. Don't follow me. If you are following me, follow only my concepts. Because if you try to follow both, you will be confused. Right? Your brain will seize. You will be very much confused because online, generally people tell you different types of scenarios according to their projects. So as a learner, it is important to learn globally how it works. So don't follow the YouTube channels until or unless you completely know the technology. After learning the technology, now you follow any YouTube channel, then you will get more idea on different concepts. Or from the first concept itself, follow them. Right? Suppose what you will do, I told you some topic today. You will go on YouTube and search for the topic. Some video will come and you will try to watch that video. You cannot clearly understand and you will be confused because actually that person explaining that topic according to his order. And in that order, that comes in 10th place, 10th video you are watching. Now directly you are watching 10th video without watching his first 9 videos, then obviously it is confusion. Understood? Don't directly go to certain topic and try to watch it. Either you watch from the beginning, right? Or completely don't. Otherwise, you will be very much confused about the topics because everybody set up the environment according to their requirements. So universally, this is the way how we have to install TypeScript. So you have to type this. Now remember, what is the advantage of this G? What is the purpose of G is nothing but currently I am installing in C drive. If I don't use this globally, TypeScript will work only on this drive. That means all my TypeScript projects must be in the same drive. Later, if I create any project in another drive or copy to some other location, it will not work. So make sure that you use global. Global means it will work anywhere now. That means in any drive, you can keep your project. So just install this. And remember, all these commands are online. You need to connect to internet. If you are not connected to internet and you are running these commands, they don't work. Right? You need to connect to internet and run this command. Now you can see I hit enter. It is downloading and installing TypeScript. it will download and it says successfully installed. If successfully installed, we have to check is it properly installed and which version is currently installed. For that, you have to just run the command tsc-v. What is tsc? Remembered yesterday? What is tsc? Yesterday we saw this, na? TypeScript standalone compiler, na? tsc is the standalone compiler. So TypeScript compiler version, you are checking the version and you can see this is the TypeScript version 4.9.4. That is the latest version of TypeScript. Whatever the latest version is there, we are going to use it. We are going to learn. But remember, Angular is not using the latest version of TypeScript. Angular may be using an older version because in some companies, they are still using Angular 10. They are still using Angular 8 like versions. Currently, Angular version is 15. But several companies may be using still old version. But officially, later I will tell you version history. Officially, up to 11 version of Angular, they are outdated now. That means officially removed and no longer supported by Angular community. So only 12, 13, 14 and 15. These are the versions currently active. But companies may be still using older version. They can use, no problem. I told you we can use Angular JS also, right? That means if they are using any older version, then we have to verify which version they are using. And we have to install that version. Suppose you went to a company, there they said that in our company we are using TypeScript 4.3, not 4.9 latest, because when you install, always it installs latest version only. If you want to install any old version, if you want to install any old version, some company says that we are using TypeScript 3 version only. Then what you have to do is nothing special. Just you have to do like this. npm install globally, what is it? TypeScript @version number. If any company says that we are not using the latest version, we are using this version, and you can install directly that version. Any library like this, any library that you install by using npm, you will be learning latest, but you will not be using latest in companies, right? That means you may be learning latest version in your class, but you will not be using the latest version in companies. Then if you have to install any old version of that software, then you have to just put @ and its old version number. Then it will install the old version for you, right? If you don't give @ and version, it will install whatever latest is there. And the current latest version is which one? The current latest version is this, right? So you can check the version like this. How do we check? tsc-v. So this is the complete environment. That means now TypeScript is also ready. So now your computer is ready to start working with TypeScript based projects, right? I hope everyone is clear. All these steps you need to try practically, right? So package manager, editor, extensions, and TypeScript. These 4 we are installing and everything is ready. Now let's see how to create a project now. How do we create a project and how do we start working with TypeScript in that project? Now, once you set up installing everything, now the next concept is creating a TypeScript project. We will see how do we create a TypeScript project. creating a TypeScript project. That means now you can start practicing TypeScript in this project. How to create an Angular project later. After TypeScript, you will learn how to create Angular project. First, how to create a TypeScript project. So let's see what are the basics required for creating a TypeScript project. First point is create a new folder on your PC. You have to create a new folder on your PC for TypeScript. For TypeScript project, you create a new folder on your PC. So on your PC, anywhere you will create a new folder. Project related all files we will create in one folder. You can create any folder. For example, see, I am going to, in my PC, I am going to some D drive, C drive, E drive somewhere. We will go to some location here. Yeah. And what we are doing here is, here we are creating a project. I am choosing my E drive, and in E drive I will create a new folder, and the folder name I will give as TypeScript project. You can give any name. I will give TypeScript project. That is the name given for that TypeScript project. This is the folder. So this folder I created for my TypeScript. Right? You just create any name for your project. That doesn't matter. I'm just giving TypeScript project. That is the folder in my E drive. So this is the location where we will keep all the files related to this project. Okay. Once you created this folder, now you have to open the folder in Visual Studio Code. You have to open the folder in Visual Studio Code. That means we will not work, obviously, we will not work here directly, because where to work for a project, best environment is IDE, right? Our IDE is Visual Studio Code. Open this project in that Visual Studio Code. So let's open Visual Studio Code. In that you have open folder, or you can go to file menu, open folder, and here you can select your folder where we created E drive. What is the folder name? TypeScript project, and select the folder, and this is your project folder. And project folder is currently empty. Project folder is currently empty. We need to set up the complete environment for project. How do we set up environment for project? Let's see. Once you open this location, next what you have to do is you have to go to terminal menu. There will be a terminal menu. Open the terminal menu and select new terminal. Terminal means it will open command prompt like this. Actually, you can go to command prompt and switch to this location. But when you are using a editor, you can directly open the command prompt here itself. You don't need to open separate command prompt. You can open it here itself. It is called as what? Terminal. It is called as terminal. This is the location from where you can manage your project. You have to open this terminal. You can open this terminal like this. What you have to do, go to terminal menu and select new terminal. When you open terminal, here some more points are there. I will tell you. See, when you open terminal, it will come like this. But actually in many of your computers, so in many of your computers, this terminal comes like this. Actually, it will come like this, PS and E colon like this. Actually, that PS is called PowerShell. PowerShell. It is PowerShell. Whenever you open terminal, instead of giving you directly this E drive and all, it will give you PS is PowerShell. Actually, PowerShell is used for managing our projects, but this PowerShell is a separate tool. You need to install it separately again. So what you have to do is don't use PowerShell. You change this PowerShell to ordinary command prompt. How to change to ordinary command prompt? I will show you carefully. See that. Don't use PowerShell because sometimes it will be like this. I will show you, you will understand. You will see when you open terminal, terminal will come like this. Understood? Don't run any command here. They will fail. Don't run any command here. They will fail. What you have to do, change this PowerShell to ordinary command prompt. How to do that? Right side, you will find a down arrow here. In the terminal right side, you will find a down arrow. Click there and you will select command prompt. Actually, it was showing which one? PowerShell. You have to select command prompt. Okay, you select there and click on command prompt. Then it will open in command prompt. This is correct, right? Because PowerShell may fail because it requires separate installation. So you always use command prompt. Open this command prompt. Okay. After opening the command prompt, so what you have to do is open the folder in Visual Studio Code. Next step, open terminal in command prompt. Open terminal, I will give you first. Open terminal means file menu, terminal menu. In terminal menu, you have to select new terminal. All you can use shortcut, Control plus backtick. Control plus backtick is to switch to terminal fastly. You can use control backtick to open terminal because terminal is daily required for us, right? You need to switch to terminal fast by using backtick. Control plus backtick, you will open terminal. What you do here is change your terminal from PowerShell to command prompt. You need to do this. Change your terminal from PowerShell to command prompt. Change it from PowerShell to command prompt, compulsory. After you changed this PowerShell to command prompt, now you have to do one work. That is nothing but, so run the following command. The following command in terminal. You have to run the command in terminal. What is that command is? The command you have to run in the terminal is npm init-y. This is the command you have to run in the terminal. What is it? I will tell you. So you created the project folder. You open the project folder in Visual Studio Code. Then you change to PowerShell to command prompt. And in the command prompt, you have to run this command here. The command will be npm space init space -y. Actually, this is very, very important. What is the purpose of this command is, it is initializing your project. Initializing the project. Initializing project means what will happen, I will tell you. Suppose, for example, you are learning some technologies like Java, .NET, PHP, Python, something. While learning technology, you want to practice some sample projects. Then you can go online. So many free sample projects are posted by several people online. So many will be. I hope you people know codeproject.com. You know that website? Don't know? So there is a website called codeproject.com. This is regularly followed by developers all over the world. Even professional high-level developers also follow these communities. That means people working in various projects and companies, if they have any doubts, they post here. Code project is very popular actually, right? If you don't know, always keep in touch with this, because it will be helpful even later when you are working in companies. Later, when you are working in companies, if you face any issue, you can post that issue in this community. They will give you suggestions. This is official, worldwide, officially used actually. Here, several free projects will be there. You can search for any project here. You will find a search box. You can search for any project there. You can search for any project. When you search for any project, the project related details will come, and you can download the project and you can practice it. But very important is, you downloaded a project developed by some developer. After downloading the project, if you try to run that project, it will not run correctly. You downloaded a project and you try to run that project in your PC, then it will not run properly. Sometimes it will fail to run. Can you tell the reason why it may so? He developed a Java project. In your computer, you have Java, but still that project fails to run. Can you tell the reason why it may fail? Because the person who built that project, in that project, he may use several new libraries. If those libraries are not present in your computer, then how it will work? Am I right? Now the question is, as a developer, how do you know what libraries he used? That means you need to read a documentation designed by him, saying that I used these things, you please follow. If he don't provide a documentation, as a developer, how you will know? There is a chance. Generally, what happens is, every professional project usually have metadata. Every project will have metadata. In this metadata, they mention which version the project is, what libraries they are using, which version libraries they are using. Everything they will detailedly mention in this metadata. And this metadata they keep in one file, and that file name is package.json. This is the file which contains all details about your project. In every professional web application, this file is mandatory. Every professional web application, this file is mandatory. That means every web application contains a file called package.json. What that file contains? That file contains information about the project. What is the information about project? Like which version project it is, what libraries used, which version library used, everything. So as a developer, whenever I get a project, first I will go and search for this file. I will open this file and see what libraries they are using. Based on that, I will install all of them and make the application run smoothly. So this file called package.json is generated by this command. Understood? That means every project needs a file called package.json. Every professional project will have package.json. And this package.json is created by using this command. npm init.y is going to create a file called package.json. Let's see. I will hit enter, and I will hit enter here. It will create a file called package.json. You can see in our project that file is ready. Every professional project related to web contains this file now. Whether you may be working with React, Angular, or any web development, any web application means you will find this package JSON. Mandatory. And all the information is present in this file, package JSON. Let's see here. When I open that file, I will open that file. You can see some details are present. And currently only few details are present. Later these details will be keep on updating according to your development. You are adding new things into project. This file will be updating those details, right? That means currently it is having project name, project version, and it is having some other details like main file, description, scripts, keywords, author, so many. Later you will get so many other details added into this file according to the situation. So what is a package JSON? Package JSON comprises of metadata. Metadata means data about data only. You learned that, right? But what is that data about data means? That means it is information about your application. Information about your application given to the developers community. So the developer can understand what you are doing in this project. What libraries you are using, which version you are using, everything we will get information from this file. And to generate this file, you need this command npm init-y. What it is going to do, this will generate package.json. Package JSON, which comprises of project metadata. This will generate package JSON, which comprises of project metadata. Usually project metadata contains what details like application name, like version, like we have copyright. So we have like even license. So we have like dependencies like author. So all these information is present. That means everything about project is present in this file, right? Who is the author of this project? What license this project is following? What are the copyrights it is having? Everything. What dependencies means what libraries it is using, which version libraries it is using, everything is present in that. So every project needs a package JSON file. So how to generate this package JSON? By using npm init-y, right? Okay, done. One is ready, one option is ready. Now you need another one. Another one is nothing but, now in this project we are going to use, which language we are going to use? TypeScript. We are going to use TypeScript as a language in this project. Now when you are using TypeScript as a language, here one problem will be there. Problem is, any programming language have this problem, because in a project, when you are working with a large team of developers, one major issue you will face in any programming language is every programmer have his own idea of writing and designing the logic. That means everybody have his own idea of implementation. This cannot happen in real time. In real time projects, you can't put your own ideas into project, never. That means you have to follow certain rules and standards and implement. You cannot be on your own in any real world project, no chance. That means you cannot even tell suggestions to the team. Team means already they are working. You cannot tell that remove this and do like this. You have to just follow the standards. That means I will tell you the situation. Suppose we are writing So we are writing some variable. Suppose I am writing a variable. It is variable general JavaScript variable, some username is equal to, it is a string. How to write a string? I can write string in double quote. I can write in single quote. I can write in backtick also. In JavaScript, we can write string in a backtick also. Right now, what is the problem is, one person written double quote, another person written single quote, another person is writing backtick. This is complete mess up. That means lot of code inconsistency will come. That means everybody have his own way of writing that leads to lot of inconsistency. That is the reason in any software project, we want all the developers to follow same standards and same rules, and where to mention those rules. Where to mention those rules. If your project is using a language, for every language, there will be a tool called language lint, L-I-N-T. Lint, language lint. Actually, every language will have a configuration file. That configuration file will tell the rules about that language. For every software development in real time, they have to put these rules. That means in the rules, they will say string must be double quote. If you accidentally written single quote, it will show warning. Say not error, warning. It says that as per standards, it must be double quote. You are using single quote. How do we set these rules? Actually, for that, every language has a configuration file. In our project, what you have to do is, you have to open terminal and you have to run another command, that is tsc init. So init, tsc init hyphen init. This is TypeScript initializer. It is TypeScript initializer, tsc hyphen init. When I use this tsc init, actually it is going to create a file called tsconfig.json. It is going to create another file tsconfig.json. That means TypeScript configuration file. JSON is a JavaScript object notation. I hope you know in JavaScript, right? JavaScript object notation, it is JSON. Setting rules for TypeScript. I told you, if you remembered, TypeScript is converted into JavaScript. Am I right? Which version of JavaScript? Because JavaScript have ES5, ES6, ES7, ES8 versions. Which version of JavaScript it will translate? That we have to decide. That we have to set. Everything is done here. Right? You written TypeScript, but into which version of JavaScript it need to translate? That you have to decide. What rules it should follow, that you have to decide. That is done by using this file. Now let's open this file and see. This is another file. We are creating another file. Generate tsconfig.json. So why it is required? It is required to set rules for TypeScript. TypeScript in project. That means in any project, if you are using TypeScript, this file is compulsory. You will find this file in every project where TypeScript is used. That means you are going to see this file in Angular projects. You are going to see this file in React projects or Vue or any other project where TypeScript is used. This file will be there. Now we are creating this file manually. We are creating the file manually. How you are generating that file? We are generating the file in the terminal. We have to use tsc-init. This is the command used to generate that file. Now this is used to set the rules for TypeScript in your project. Let's see already some details may be there here. You can see in this project now, another file is created, ts config. It has several rules now. You see so many rules are there, and all rules are commented. Why they are commented? Because you can enable only which rule you want and you can define. Even if you want, you can add. If you remembered, I told you TypeScript is strictly typed. Am I right? You see, it is showing that strict is set to true. Right? That means it will set all the rules that are required for TypeScript. These all you will able to understand according to the situation while you are learning. And you see everything, so many options are present. What is module system? Why we need module system? You see target. Target is ES2S 2016 means what? Target ES 2016 means JavaScript ES6 version. That means now TypeScript is going to translate into JavaScript which version? You know this is JavaScript version, you know, na? You learned JavaScript, right? This is JavaScript version. What are JavaScript versions? ES 2016, 2017, 2018, latest is 2022, and the future is ES next. JavaScript version this is, right? In many requirements in companies, when they want developers, they will not ask we need JavaScript. They ask that we need ES7, ES6. That means they need latest version JavaScript people who know what is new in this version, because companies are currently majority using ES6 and 7. You need to change this JavaScript version. You need to set that. So this is ts config file. So we have two important files generated now. Understood? One is package.json, another one ts. What is difference? Package.json contains information about the project, and ts config contains rules related to TypeScript. Earlier, we used to have a file called tslint, which is removed now, not available. Very old projects, 5-7 years back projects, you will see a file tslint. That is not there anymore now. In the latest, it is removed, completely obsolete now. Obsolete means no longer in use. It is not in use. This is enough, tsconfig.json. Now, in this project, you need to add two folders. One is public folder. You see there is a new folder button. This is new file button. This is new folder button. You click new folder and folder is public, and add another folder into project SRC. As per project tradition, every project contains these two folders regularly. All static resources are kept in public. That means HTML files, images, text files, PDF files, everything we will keep in which folder? Public. And all dynamic files are kept in SRC. JavaScript, TypeScript, CSS, SAS, all files are kept in this SRC. Every professional project contains these two folders, public and SRC. Public contains static resources, SRC contains dynamic resources. And every project, I hope you know, you learned in HTML, every project starts with one file. You know now, web applications. Web application starts with one file. Which file? Index.html. You know this, right? Let's add index.html in the root level. You have to add index in the root level, others in public. Understood? Index in root level. In root level, I'm adding a file, index.html. And you design some HTML page, and we will put some heading here. Welcome to TypeScript, something like this. And still we are not having any TypeScript here. We are just creating a HTML page. Once you created that, it is ready. Now what you have to do is, at the bottom, you have to click Go Live button. At the bottom, you will find Go Live. If live server is installed, you will find that Go Live at the bottom. You click on that go live, then automatically your project starts and it will display index.html. That means now our project is running, and currently our project is running in this location. If due to any technical reason, if your browser is unable to open, don't worry. What you have to do is, the project is still running, and which port number? 5500. It is showing the port number 5500. So what you have to do, open any browser. In the browser you have to request like this. Any browser you can open, http://localhost colon 5500. Then it will get your index page, because every project starts with index. Right now your project is ready, it is running fine, but there is no TypeScript here. We just have a HTML page. Now we will learn how to keep TypeScript into this project, that we will see tomorrow. Okay, all this you have to do by tomorrow, and keep this environment ready, because you need to be update in practice till date, right? Because Angular is not like you wait for 2 days and then start practice. By the time you will get more complex, you can't catch. You need to practice everything day by day. So by tomorrow, you have to make sure that you have done all this. If you have any issues, let me know about it. Okay, na? Is it clear to everyone? Right, then tomorrow we'll continue. Right.